Happy time zone, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Welcome back to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Great to have you with us this fantastic Monday. Well, hopefully fantastic Monday. We'll see what happens. Today, we are kicking off our coverage of the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament with the Swiss Round 1 match between traiLZ and picklesandbeer. First, old generation versus new generation. This should be a good match. On track and duties tonight, we have VT Slacker, and without further ado, I will leave things in the hands of your wonderful commentary team, Mirai and Ellender.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the opening day of the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard 2022 Tournament. Ellender, it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
I'm excited. We had a short break after the Max Rando, and we're moving on to Standard. It's a pretty normal set of flags compared to Max Rando. Pretty similar to last year's. I think the biggest difference is that we've got vanilla in the pool for the biomes.
Yes. And we're not hiding less important locations. So we've got a bunch of small little one tile landmark terrain tiles just scattered throughout each of the biomes. So that changes a little bit up, but not always. So we'll see how everyone handles this flag set in this tournament. I think you and I actually kicked off opening day of the Max Rando tournament. So
I can definitely believe it.
Yeah.
Exciting. Questionable start. I don't think. Yeah, it's not hard container cave. It's always hard to tell without the candle because we will not be starting with anything.
Yeah, we got some passive caves here. It's almost making me think we're on a vanilla-like simply because we see a mountain range there and we see passive caves headed south in that little one yellow road pathway there. That's kind of making me think vanilla-like in the west here.
Yeah, that road south definitely is suggests that we've got a segment between the north and the south. There'll usually be another connector somewhere off to the west here, but traiLZ has found our first spell and a hint that the trophy is in a maze.
He also got a hint for boots on the east.
Ooh, very exciting.
Okay, so Rudo is fairy, as picklesandbeer is showing us.
So we're definitely going to be on a hunt for Maze Island and probably for those boots as well.
Yeah, if anyone was confused in the beginning, it's traiLZ versus picklesandbeer. That's one person. It's not traiLZ versus pickles and versus beer. This is quite the matchup if it were.
I think 2-on-1 would be a pretty good handicap for traiLZ.
A co-op from picklesandbeer versus traiLZ here.
Yeah, picklesandbeer, new player to Zelda 2, coming from the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. traiLZ, of course, extremely veteran Z2 player, finalist in Max Rando.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sunday or Saturday night, Alan Heffley rolled the matchups for this first round, and right before that happened, picklesandbeer said in the Z2R Discord, he said, "I'm ready for my tournament spanking." And well, Alan hooked him up in week 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance Rando can do anything. Also, there's potential acts of God available, but Pickles is doing a decent job. He's gotten past that red diarrhea. Just get past it, move over. Hopefully the bubbles and the heads cooperate. All right, it's gonna make it through.
Yeah, we only saw a P-bag at the end of this medicine cave here, so he doesn't know that yet, but he's not really missing out on too much. It might get him a level. I didn't see how much that gave, but...
I think it was only 100, unfortunately, okay. So he's going to be short.
Yeah, one thing we don't have in this tournament are going to be the wild P-bags. We've got shuffle P-bag amounts off, which means we're going to just have static values of 50. There you go, 50, 100, 200, and 500 are the 4 values we can see in our drops here.
Well, Pickles got to think whether he wants to go back and try to round out that 170 or just up. Hey, looks like he's going to go for it.
Yeah, as a newer runner, it's something to think about. Do you just want to abandon that experience, or do you want to keep that because it might actually come in handy? Again, as a newer runner, you just want it. Or,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, ordinarily, I think picklesandbeer sort of realized it'd be nice to get that experience, but that is just not a friendly room to try and do combat in with 2 different kinds of flying enemies and a red dire on the bridge.
Yeah, that early red die rod definitely can trip you up. He did get by it nicely the first time in, so unfortunately there wasn't much more of a reward inside of Medicine Cave, but on the way out, the up and A was not a bad choice.
Neither runner checking out. traiLZ is starting to check out the forests. There's, I believe, 6 blank forests in Baga's Woods and Vanilla.
I'm just going to agree.
Barba slithers with the heart, but yeah, there's a whole lot of these isolated forest tiles, and most of them are kind of junk like this. A couple have small items, but traiLZ is always considering the possibility of Bagu and finds his way to Vanilla East.
Yeah, that means, well, the boots are over here somewhere. So technically we have access to at least the middle section of our Vanilla East through this pass-through cave headed south that traiLZ is about to show us. That'll give us access to one item cave and Naburu, which will be a free spell. So we'll see if that one item cave has our boots, but we're also going to need the flute because of that River Devil, who does not move from his spot no matter what version of Vanilla East we have.
Yeah, with this being Vanilla East, we know that there can't be any connectors on the south side past the flute. And so that pretty much guarantees that the boots are going to be in this P-Bag cave just to the south.
That's why we got you here, Elendar. That's absolutely true.
I played quite a bit of one thing definitely recommended for players who are practicing for the tournament is spend a couple seeds, just play, set your biomes to vanilla on both sides. Especially if you don't have a lot of experience with it. There's a whole lot of routing and movement logic that is specific to the vanilla layouts because they are very restrictive, very linear compared to how it usually generates.
Yes, very true. Very true. I never really thought about that, but I guess that is a really good way to just learn vanilla instead of going and loading the vanilla game specifically, because the vanilla game is the vanilla game, but the randomizer in the vanilla setting is definitely different. So it probably is best to learn the vanilla biomes in the randomizer setting with shuffled items, shuffled palace locations and whatnot. And that'll also help any runner then kind of learn about vanilla shuffled biomes, which tend to be completely a mess at times.
Yeah, vanilla shuffle could be just the Wild West. Especially the more caves are mixed up, but we are going to see traiLZ check out this P-Bag cave. And likely we're going to see a water tile / palace check right after.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. So we've Rebenak with the medicine. We have the trophy. Was the trophy in the east?
The trophy was in Maze Island.
Maze Island, that's right.
Which we still have no sighting of the Vanilla East Maze Island connector connected to the west.
Yeah, so that could actually be with continent connectors doing anything. That could actually be raft off the east to Maze Island, as far as we know, or it's going to be one of our caves from the west to Maze Island. So we still have Death Mountain in there as well. So there's a bunch of stuff at play still.
Yeah, Pickles' beer has worked his way down to the southern end of the west. Going to get rewarded with Thunderspell and the grass tile pretty shortly here.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have checked the palace first to know if I could just up an A out of the water tile here. Ooh, the hammer.
Haven't seen any requirements for that quite yet, but there's always the horrible, horrible chance of Death Mountain being required.
All right, so we don't have GP sitting in the water today. We have 3 or 6. Unsure of which one that is until we dig in there. And well, here goes traiLZ. Looks like Fairy is castable at Magic 3.
Yeah, I didn't catch the cost at Magic 3, but wouldn't imagine he'd take a trip in here if it weren't at least castable. But having just one cast of Fairy can be very scary.
Yeah, especially if this is going to be P6 and it's a little bit longer. Could be door heavy, and that's not a good thing. You only get one cast, it looks like, probably per life. So 3 casts of Fairy, and that's it. And especially if the boss is not dropping a key, which we don't know because it's randomized in this flag set. So if he's not dropping a key, then you might be out of magic by the time it's time to get through that door and place the gem.
Oof. And this immediately getting a gap room without the glove, he's going to be forced to use fairy there.
At least there's that key there, though. That's pretty nice to walk back and get that.
Yeah. Pickles and Beer has found the magic container cave.
Keys in the drop pool, apparently.
Oh, that's nice.
I will say Pickles and Beer being a newer runner, getting in on the falling crouching stabs, that's a big ooh.
There's all the rest of the keys.
Wow, that could play a little bit here. Again, traiLZ is a very good runner, but having that magic key early, if Pickles and Beer wants to take a few dips into palaces, we'll see if he can kind of keep it close here.
Good news for traiLZ, this is 3, and it's a fairly short one, so he's not going to have any more fairy stress.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if the flute is locked. Oh no, we know what Rebanak rides with. Rebanak rides with some. Oh, he rides with the medicine. He rides with the medicine for whatever spell was in Mito.
Okay, I did not catch that one, but with traiLZ already having access to fairy and Pickles and Beer already having found thunder, we're reflect apparently. So the one remaining required spell. So traiLZ making pretty effective work on down stabless attack 3 Rebo. Never a fun trip.
Yeah, we'll see if he sticks around in this palace to get the item. He might, knowing P3 is pretty small. I don't know, though. I don't know.
Yeah. traiLZ, I do believe traiLZ doesn't have the hint, but with how short it's been, and we do have Palace continuing on after the boss enabled, I suspect he'll at least take a trip and see what's behind the statue.
No, we actually exit outside of the boss room on these flags.
Is it?
Not recently on the Seat of the Week, though. The Seat of the Week has changed that a little bit.
I just to show how little practice I've done. Mago's in the Drifter for Pickles and Beer, but double down roll, only 100 points.
Yeah, that's good and bad. Like, he could technically sit here for a minute and try to get these guys.
Yeah, Magos are a great experience, but they're a pain to farm.
Especially when they're 2 hits like that, they get a chance to get their fire out, and you're just standing right there, just going to swallow that whole.
Yeah, the ones that spawn on the other side of the room will come on over to you and be a pain.
Yeah, I tell any new runner that even in a race setting and whatnot, if you want to grind, if you feel that you need to grind to get just a few extra levels to be more comfortable with what you're doing, because the race can be stressful, do that. Just do that and put yourself at a more comfortable level. Get that life level, get that attack level. I assume attack is 1070 there. I think that's what that is. So if he gets one more attack level, he'll probably be able to one-shot these guys and even cut through them even fast if he wants to stick around for just another minute or two.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if attack 4... I'm already a little bit surprised that attack 3 isn't enough to one-shot them.
Yeah, so am I. It must have rolled pretty low. It was hard to gauge attack 3 from the Rebanak fight that we saw traiLZ just do, because bosses, he could have had more health than usual. So.
Okay, he does have another life. Not going to lose the XP. And he's just going to move on. That's fair. He's very likely to pick up the XP enough to get past this anyway.
Yeah, that would have been a lot bigger if there were 3 to 500 point Magos. That would have been the absolute jackpot right there.
Yeah, I see 500 point Magos. I'm for it. At least pick up attack 5.
Absolutely.
Especially considering how bad this attack 3 seems to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fairy was not castable. I guess when Pickles and Beer went into Mito the first time, because he didn't grab down stabs. So neither did traiLZ though. So I guess that's true across the board.
Pickles and Beer he hasn't actually picked up the fairy. I think the fairy spell is locked behind the trophy.
Oh,
traiLZ is just casting Fire Fairy.
Oh, well, thankfully, commentary's been filled in on the situation.
Yeah, Fire Fairy also looks like Magic 4 gave it a pretty substantial reduction. It was very expensive before in the 50s, but looks like Magic 4 has dropped it down to 3 casts at just 4 bars. So
wow,
not going to be an issue anymore as far as Magic for traiLZ. And now he's determined to dig out this item.
Yeah, he's found some dead ends here, and he keeps starting back over. So he does want the item out of here at this point. He's kind of committed. At some point you might wonder, like, some cost. You just get out of here and say, F it, I'll be back later if I need to. But we know that he needs to, and I don't know if he went into Rudo to get that hint. So I know that Pickles and Beer did. That's why we have it, but I don't remember if traiLZ did.
Even if he doesn't have the hint, he knows he needs the glove. He knows with Vanilla East he needs the flute.
This is true. There's a lot on the table left to just dip out on one of the smallest palaces to get the item out of.
There's still a moderate likelihood that the raft is going to be required. So, and there it is. traiLZ going to take a quick lava bath to get his fairy back.
Yeah, so we didn't see Bagoo. We know the boots are on the east, as the hint told us and as traiLZ showed us. And so that Saria block that Pickles and Beer has seen, kind of stopping him in his tracks. I don't know 100% if he knows to look for Bagoo in these woods. First choice P5 here, and Taguma.
And looks like shield spell just enough to not get one shot.
I mean, completely doable at this point. He did get at least attack 4, so he's bumped up from the what seemed to be terrible attack 3. Guma's getting cut down here, so speak. Okay, I'm sorry, Pickles and Beer.
Yeah, Pickles and Beer playing the corner cheese safety strat, just trying to keep him on the screen and the mace off the screen. It's not a fast strat, but a pretty safe strat. And honestly, not dying is the fastest thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with cheesing Guma a little bit, especially at these lower levels, especially when you know it's going to be a 2-shot or potentially 3-shot. I don't know. It's hard to tell a little bit there. He might have a sliver of health if he gets hit again with that shield spell. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. If you're willing to go into P5 and take on Guma, be ready to do a cheese strat, and don't let anyone tell you that that's the wrong way to do it. Because if Guma's dead, you're moving on, and there's no big deal. Oh, it is a 3-shot.
Okay, he does just barely have enough. He's getting a little bit cornered here, but looks like attack 4 is quite a bit stronger than attack 3. And Guma down.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Ooh, only 300 points, though.
We're saying that Pickles and Beer is a newer runner, but maybe he's just an old runner in disguise in a new name.
Yeah, I always say, the newer runners, people when it's their first tournament, you never know how much practice they've been doing offline, how much they've been grinding. They can certainly come up and surprise you and do really well. And so far, it looks like Pickles and Beer is doing great.
Yeah, but it is always nice to see even new runners that, again, might not be exactly new, but for whom is like core to the community and known for repeated participation in tournaments. I don't know the name, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good player by any means. He's just new to the tournament. And, it's always nice to see when someone new joins and, they're not getting totally beat up by the seed as a newer runner. So this is great to watch this.
Yep. So far, Pickles and Beer has cleared out a good portion in the west. Ooh, there's a cave connector to Death Mountain, and it's a vanilla shuffle.
Yeah. Amazing.
Just the worst. The absolute worst biome in the game.
If we don't... So, that's interesting. If we see a raft tile on the west, then that means our Maze Island access is through Vanilla Shuffle DM. If we don't see a raft tile on the west, then that means we've got potentially 2 connections to Maze Island. One through Death Mountain and one through the raft tile then.
traiLZ has found these Mago Drippers, and he's also taken advantage, getting some experience. But once again, they're being jerks, throwing fire as soon as they show up. But traiLZ has got the down stab to make this substantially safer.
Yeah, if he could cast Reflect, I don't know if he did. If he can cast Reflect, he can actually block that fire with the Reflect spell.
I actually did not know that. I've never done that trick.
Same thing with the Firebirds in GP as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done Reflect on the Firebirds a number of times. That could be very useful with GP for all sorts of troll rooms trying to get past them, but I've never done it on the Magos before.
Yeah, it's also a great way to test your fire combined fire spell in case you think it's Fire Reflect. Just cast it, bump into a fireball from a Mago like that, and well, if you tink it away, then you know you've got Reflect.
Good use of Thunder to take out that Moa.
Yeah, those guys could be. Oh, and a P-bag drop right there.
And he doesn't. I don't think he got the kill either.
I think you do as the P-bag drops because it disappears in front of your eyes. That's
Oh,
the one
right.
time.
Okay, yeah, because it's an item drop. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. No, ordinarily, enemies don't count as killed until their experience ticks up, but since it was a drop, it doesn't actually tick up. traiLZ similarly having some issues with these Magos taking a death here, but
yeah, I haven't been keeping track of what caves we've seen exactly. We've seen a lot of caves over on the west so far. We've seen the grass tile. I don't know if we've seen them all. Looks like Saria is not technically required. Looks like we can actually wrap around on each side from where we start. I mean Bagu or crossing Saria, that is.
Yeah. That's GP.
I'm hoping Pickles and Beer shows us the lower half of this eastern side of the southern half of this continent.
You want to see if there's a raft?
Yes, I want to see if there's a raft tile or if there's another cave to Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's the biggest question right now. Do we need the raft or are we... Okay, there's the raft.
That means that Vanilla Shuffle DM is required. The other end of Vanilla Shuffle DM gets us to Maze Island. This is hot. We just turn up the heat, baby.
Should invite Zarnax over here to make us a map.
Cartographer Zarnax.
I have absolutely resorted to not in as great a detail as some players, but I absolutely resorted to just making notes and writing down where every cave goes, because a required Vanilla Shuffle connector can just be 20 minutes of exhaustively checking every single cave, napping out every single connection. It's brutal.
Yeah, funny enough, we're making a big deal out of this, but it might actually be that the cave is kind of nearby wherever you enter in. So that would be really lucky and nice for these runners. But then again, it might be a terrible dig into Death Mountain, and it is required.
Yeah, I somewhat agree with Patrick that you see that early on in Max Rando and you're like, can we reroll? I've always stuck those out, but I've also definitely had scenes where I spent 20 minutes in Vanilla Shuffle Death Mountain and never found where I was going until I lost. So
yeah, Pickles with the flu pickup there, and that's going to get him through the River Devil. That's going to give him some access to the southern half of the eastern continent. So he is he's still in this 100% at this point.
Yeah, so far, I would say he probably has a progression advantage at this point in terms of items. The magic key is at least somewhat useful, but having that flute, he's going to get the boots really quickly here because there's not really much you could do in the east aside from get the boots. But traiLZ, has already found the item here in this palace, and he's going to be finishing up soon. So it looks like it'll be a classic case of exploration advantage versus palace advantage.
Yeah, it could be that. Well, we saw Pickles take out P5. I don't remember what the other palace was other than GP on the west. So Pickles will have to be back to not only turn in the trophy to get Reflect out of Rudo, but then to finish that other palace before he can do anything else. So he will be kind of double dipping the east to west connections back and forth. But anything can happen in this Vanilla Shuffle DM. So that itself could be a great equalizer.
Oh, for sure. It could be, take the wrong cave in one little section and save or lose 10 to 15 minutes easily. Okay,
VT Slacker pointing out that it was P4 on the other palace on the west. So that makes sense that we weren't doing that.
See how much stronger attack 4 here is here for traiLZ, getting all up inside of Guma.
Yeah, I need to learn that skill.
It's
trying.
Tricky. I tend to. I'll do it. What traiLZ is doing now is a sort of a hybrid that I like. Is you sort of do your standard stabbing strat to push him away, and then as he's starting to get close to the end of the screen, you get inside with your down stabs, trying to get some extra hits, but also just to get to the other side of him, so you're pushing him back and forth.
Yes.
I'm not nearly as effective at it as traiLZ is, but
incoming video tutorial by Thursday.
If you mean that traiLZ is going to do it, I absolutely believe that.
I totally missed what was in Darunia there. We did get the check for the spell. I'm sure somebody saw it. It was a life spell. Okay, thank you. But he went west before going south, so he's not going to have the Fire Fairy combo just yet. So he didn't go get upstab either. So
yeah, and he's checking. He had missed this little small item encounter, but he's going to pick up 500 points for his efforts.
Aaron in chat pointing out that traiLZ has a folder of saved Guma fights that he shows to the ladies.
Yep, always nice and smooth both ways. I missed what palace this is for traiLZ.
I believe it's P4 because he has Reflect now.
And there's a candle, and I highly doubt we're going to see a pickup on that. Oh, traiLZ, of course, proving me wrong. Just about 5 or 10 seconds to go over there and pick it up, but maybe he's just concerned about potential Death Mountain crossings.
Yeah, that, or I was thinking lava encounters that you're going to have to go in to get to Death Valley to get to that palace in there. Yeah,
traiLZ doesn't yet know that Death Mountain is required, but that's a glove block. Still no sign of our glove or hints for it.
Yeah, we've had some trolley seeds of the week this week, so I wonder if we'll see similar progression. Probably not. It's a pretty rare way to progress a seed, but regardless, if we do get a double troll, a vanilla shuffle DM, and some oddly placed items for progression, then this might be a long seed.
Yep, traiLZ finds that the drop loops in 4 and confirms that dungeon is glove blocked.
Yeah, if Pickles heads south here, he goes into the cave, he's going to get the boots, and then he'll probably do a check in the water, seeing as he seems to know what he's doing here in the Vanilla East. We'll probably see the check as well. I forget exactly what was on the water towel. I think it was a heart or perhaps a magic container.
I think it was a magic container, yeah.
Yeah, that's where traiLZ got his one. And then we'll see further south. So that might be where the glove is at. So if it is the glove that's kind of sitting in the open on the southern half of the eastern continent, then by the time Pickles goes back to the west, he will not have this glove block problem in P4 when he finally does it.
Yeah, that'll definitely be valuable. At the same time here, traiLZ is finishing up his exploration in the west. He's going to find the raft tile, and then pretty shortly thereafter, based on his routing, probably get the bad news about Death Mountain. And I'm curious if, since he has the hammer, he has all of his relevant spells, including Thunder, pretty quickly here. I wonder if when he sees that Death Mountain and he knows he needs to pass through, whether he's just gonna hit it immediately and start mapping it out.
Yeah, it's possible he knows that it won't have P4 on it. And, he has Reflect. But then again, I don't know. I mean, if you think that the glove might be on Maze Island, we already know that one of the items isn't the glove on Maze Island, so that only leaves just that one potential check left. Maybe you come across Hammer Cave. Maybe you come across Speck Rock. He does have the hammer. I don't know. It's an interesting choice. Death Mountain, Vanilla Shuffle Death Mountain always makes you question life on how you want to route this bad boy. So
yeah, you know it's a thing that you need to do, but also, man, if you make it all the way through that and you find the palace and it's glove blocked, then you just immediately feel like you've lost the race.
Yeah, did he see there was the raft tile right in the corner? Is this our Death Mountain connector second half?
I don't
no,
think
it
so.
can't be.
I think it's just north of here, but based on traiLZ has been sort of looping clockwise around the continent, and I think he's gonna find it in just a bit here once he finishes grabbing this item.
I don't remember if Pickles and Beer showed us Heart Container Cave here. If this is the glove, this does change some things up. Oh, this is where the flute was, so he did show us that. Okay.
Yeah, I think Pickles and Beer is finished. Let's see what he decides he wants to do first here in the south of the east. Looks like he's going to go up and check Risen P-Bag Cave first before heading down to the southeast. There's a lot of different ways to route this section, depending on where you potentially want to go first, what you think might have what, because you sort of have to backtrack in at least some areas no matter what you do.
Yeah.
I think decent likelihood Pickles and Beer goes from here to the desert and then just goes straight to the palace since he's got his flute. I would be a little leery of going to it looks like he didn't end up getting that magic container, and so going over to New Kasuto when at this point, I'm fairly certain he knows where Reflect is. That he knows there's only one item there. It's quite a long walk for the one item, and yeah, traiLZ is gonna start digging out this Death Mountain at least a little bit.
Did we see a fire check on Pickles' side yet?
I don't think so.
VT Slacker saying yes, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so he does know. Okay.
Gonna save him a little bit of magic. Oh yes, definitely a fire check here.
So for anyone trying to watch traiLZ do Death Mountain here, well, you probably got to watch pretty closely. Oh, okay.
Okay, he's found his connection. That's extremely lucky. Oh no, that's right. You can't walk around the water of Villa.
Totally, yeah.
No, this is just another slow. Yeah, in all of the other places in V4 the randomizer, we have the flag turned on where caves connector caves go where they point, right? So if you enter into a cave, go, wow, cave of this? Okay, so a lot of connections here. None of them good, but the Vanilla Shuffle Death Mountain is still 100% like the old V3 version of the randomizer, where any cave can take you anywhere, because that's sort of how it is in Vanilla, and it's just a big mess.
Yeah, it is just simply pick a direction and go, and map it out in your mind, or write it down if you'd like. But it's simply when you find a loop or something, you're going to have to just check a different direction. Remember that there are two caves that have a pair of caves that are matched up with each other that create sort of an I junction, and those are going to take you in different directions as well. So there's not a lot of. I wish I had better advice for vanilla shuffled routing for Death Mountain, but I don't know. I don't know if that exists.
Yeah, one thing. Oh man, and one the spec rock sighting there in a one way guaranteed. One thing I know that traiLZ can do back from the old V3 days is, and I don't know if he's tracking this or not, but it used to be popular to track all of the different entrances to know, okay, I know this cave is paired with this other type of cave that looks like its exit, and just try to remember how many you've seen of each, so you can sort of do what traiLZ is doing, where when you have a choice between a couple of different caves, you have some amount of knowledge of how many remaining exits are that you haven't seen for a certain type. Because sometimes, even if you haven't been through a cave, you could just sort of know based on what you've remembered that, you've already seen the other side of that cave from the other side.
Right. The one thing, I guess, advice-wise, is that there are 2 copies of all the caves. So, if you think you're in a loop or something, check it. And if there are still enemies present in there, then, you haven't been through that area. Kill the enemies as you go so that when you hit that cave again, that, hey, I've been here. This is where I've already been from the other side. And you'll know to either backtrack or take that through and take a different course. But here we go.
Trail's definitely going to stop here in Hammer Cave and see what he picks up. Man, if this is the glove, that would be brutal to find the glove here on Death Mountain.
Yeah. Patrick also pointing out in chat saying that the glove on Maze Island would be ugly. Having to go there, leave. Well, yeah. I guess there wouldn't be much double dipping because GP is on the west.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, with the amount of stuff Pickles has checked on the southern end of the east, I think odds are better than not that the glove is going to be somewhere in this Death Mountain / Maze Island / whatever palace is in Maze Island area.
Yeah, we didn't see. He went into the palace right next to Old Kasuto, which, interestingly enough, I believe was in its vanilla location. He went into this palace right here, which I believe is 2 that we're in right now. And he did pick up Spell in Old Kasuto before seeing New Kasuto. So that was nice that he made that check in that order, and it just so happened to play out that way. So by the time he goes to New Kasuto, although, is he going to need the hammer? He's going to need the hammer. Oh, he is in the vanilla location because this is the vanilla Eastern, duh. But he's going to need the hammer for New Kasuto. Vanilla location, probably.
Right. I was forget that.
Yeah. So, well, real fast. Animus pointing out that you may or may not need the hammer because we just saw 3-Eyed Rock where the palace is exposed, right? Normally, it's locked behind there, but the randomizer
option is shuffled. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it'll just expose the palace or the town that's behind the block, and you won't actually need the item. So maybe he'll luck out on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, no way in the vanilla map to get a scout on that before. Trails, meanwhile, has given up on Death Mountain, making his way back down to the south as well.
Yeah, again, that raft tile, I think, was right on the edge of his screen, potentially missable by him. So I don't know if he saw the raft. If he did, then he knows that he needs to go through Death Mountain. If he didn't, then he might still be thinking raft is in play.
Yeah, he definitely passed by the raft, but
okay.
I think Trails just I think honestly the biggest factor of Trails' routing here is they didn't want to walk out of Hammer Cave.
I don't disagree with that move.
It's just you need to do this southeastern section eventually, so might as well take it up A, clear it out. Maybe you find the glove over here. It still could be. Trails definitely has quite a bit more resources heading into the southeast. I didn't see the container check, or we didn't see the container check because Pickles doesn't have the hammer, but Trails has 6 containers and a hammer here, so fairly likely to be able to get both items in New Kasuto.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know how many magic containers that woman wants to get into her basement.
Pickles Beer, considering how he's going to get past this blue iron knuckle and just going to take a death. Still hasn't picked up. I'm a little surprised he didn't go and pick up the down. Oh, I guess he didn't have. He didn't. I don't know if he had fairy before coming over here. Just saying, making a decision to go here and clear out some palaces without downstab is a little scary, right? Downstab is certainly overpowered.
Yeah, this is the same thing I asked earlier when it came to why didn't he have a downstab, is because he didn't have the fire fairy combo when he left the west, hit the east, and he hasn't left the east yet.
Oh, that's right. He's still over here. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where Trails has a nice advantage as well, with the downstab being able to just bounce over the blue guys. Anything that's dangerous in these palaces, he's going to simply just bounce over it and have no problem with it. We didn't see a desert tile check from either of our runners, did we?
I don't think we did. That's surprising. It's so easy to just go and grab it. And if especially again, that desert tile could have the glove. This palace could be glove blocked. It could be, a little 10-second walking trip to pick it up before you come here that you didn't take and find out it lost you 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is only going to be a magic container, but this will put traiLZ in a great spot for Nukasudo if he needs to go there.
Yeah, guaranteed to be able to get both items. That's what you want to see. And Pickle's still searching. This has turned out to be quite a long palace, too.
Yeah, we'll see if traiLZ can close the gap here, getting the item there. And, well, that was very close to start, but we'll see who can route this faster. They're very, very close to each other. Pickles has a little bit more exploration advantage here, but we'll see if he can put it to use. Yeah, I think he needs to go down and left through this courtyard here.
Yeah. I think he was here earlier and decided to go up and take the other route instead.
Yeah, and I think that loops you around to the front of the palace again.
Yeah.
But other than that, not knowing that P3 was in the ocean there, this could cost him a little bit of time. If he up and A's out of the east at some point, without doing that, it's going to be another dip into the east to get that, to go back to the west, again, to turn in the trophy. Oh, glove block.
Oof. And that's going to, man, he's going to do a desert tile check now if this is the glove. Oh, it's just the child. That would have been huge if the glove were sitting right there and neither of our runners picked it up before heading in.
Well, we need to go to Nukasudo now to see what's up over there. If Pickles heads up that way.
Yeah, I think those are our last available locations. I think at this point we've gotten all of the palaces we've either seen the item from or we've confirmed that they're glove blocked, and so the glove is almost certainly, if my counts are right, is going to be in Nukasudo or somewhere in Death Mountain / Maze Island / the palace on Maze Island.
Yeah, still a few options that we've got for where it can be, but Pickles and Beer up and A off the east is probably going to be hurtful. We're going to see traiLZ. Oh, traiLZ is going to do another check. He didn't find the loop, I guess. He didn't find the loop back to start, so he's going to dig back into here. But after that, we'll see the same thing from him. It's going to be a desert tile check, and then he'll be north into Nukasudo without a doubt. So we'll definitely get a chance to see what's there.
Good note from BT Slacker, as always, paying more attention than us. We have not seen the palace in Valley of Death.
Very true. Very true.
Yet another really just trolly place to put the glove.
Yeah, these vanilla continents are pretty rough at times when things are even a little separated. It's a lot of back and forth. It's an annoyance. It can easily be an annoyance, whereas a lot of the other biomes, they just tend to be open and available for exploration most of the time, whereas vanilla will generally always be pretty restrictive.
Pickles and Beer sort of looking around here in the west. I think he's looking to pick up Downstab. I don't remember exactly which location that town was, but
the swamp town of Mido.
Yes, Mido is of course in the swamps, as we all know. trail's going to pick up his desert tile and sort of, I'm sure, letting out a sigh of relief that wasn't the glove.
Yeah, I think we all make those mistakes. It's like you walk into Darunia and it's like the fairy spell in Darunia, but the desert tile is right next to Darunia. And for some reason you go when you get the hint from the woman and she's like, the child is on the east. And then all of a sudden the child is on the desert tile sitting right now. You're like, I should have just done that check first. I think we all have that happen to us at some point.
Yep. Pickles has learned to press the down button.
I'm just waiting to see what traiLZ is going to show us here in Nukasudo. This is going to be our new check here. Hammer required for Nukasudo this time around.
It's just got jump as we knew already, but let's see these items. Trail's not at full health, not going to be able to do the swag beam pickup strats. Okay. Rafta going to save, I think, a slight amount of time, maybe coming back to the east. I'm not entirely sure. It's not the raft tile on the west isn't in a super convenient spot. Might be faster just to walk across the north, especially since they have the boots.
I think we're going to see a child turn in and an upstab pickup here and the life spell pickup for Pickles and Beer.
Yep, worth doing. Nope. He's heading down. Pickles may not realize that you can just walk down the. This is one of the few places in vanilla you can actually just walk down the coast to avoid this cave.
All right, drum roll, everyone. Let's see. Is this going to be our glove or it's going to be Death Valley Palace, Maze Island location? Lots of fun. Oh,
the 8th container, and traiLZ is up-Aing. He's going to be on his way to Death Mountain.
Oh, yeah, he's not going to check Death Valley. He's going to go ahead Death Mountain at first. Another thing that it might be a hasty up and A at that point. I don't know. With such a cheap fairy spell, it probably would have been not a lot of time required to get into Death Valley to just do that check. But then again, did traiLZ see GP on the west?
I think he did. I think traiLZ's main concern here was just it would have been given that he had to walk back out of the cave and through the forest again. It probably isn't going to save. It would certainly save time for him to walk to Valley of Death from New Kasuto, but not actually that much, given all the walking he had to do versus just up-Aing and then going and taking the. I'm a little interested where he's going now.
Yeah, the thing is, something else that might have motivated the up and A there is because of the fact that he knew he was missing Trophy Cave at the very least. See, this is where I don't think he saw GP, and he's about to notice that, and now he'll know it's not in Valley of Death. So this might have been something that's stuck on his mind. That's like, I should have checked Valley of Death. Yeah,
if he's going here, he definitely didn't see it before. So we'll see if he goes Valley of Death or takes the raft, because he is right next to the raft if he wants to take that route.
Or are we going back into Death Mountain? Everyone's favorite.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, Death Mountain is by far our I don't want to say densest collection of items, but there are certainly a lot of things that way.
All right, we're gonna have a Rebenak fight for Pickles Beer. He's got downstab now, so this should not be too tough. Also, attack 5, life 5, shield spell. I think we're good. Knows the corner strats. No big deal.
Doing a perfectly good job breaking him out of the corner. Ooh, and of course, I've immediately commentary cursed him.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies.
Didn't pick up the life spell, though, from Darunia, so won't be able to heal if necessary.
No, coming back in again at full life should be no problem. So a slightly better setup on the corner this time, may be able to just keep him there.
Yeah, that attack 5 looks like it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, definitely compared to the pretty weak attack 3 traiLZ had. Gonna save quite a bit of time. And he's looking to pick up some XP. He wants attack 6.
The other thing about this Vanilla Shuffle DM is if you take too long of a break from it, you might forget what you checked already. And so that's something. And especially if you do eventually find the path and it's a big old maze and a bunch of loops, you might not actually remember how to get there. So if they have to double dip this for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, traiLZ got himself into a situation where he was in that little 3-cave section that had one of the caves was Hammer Cave, and the other 2 he knew both of them were loops. And so it's like, well, I have to unwind one of these loops and get to a place where there's a fork I can take. And he was sort of go back and forth for a second, try to think where is a thing I can check. Okay. traiLZ finding another 3-way connection.
I'm almost wondering if I would like to see Spec Rock before I see Maze Island, because if I go to Maze Island and it's not it, that just puts me back into Vanilla Shuffle DM, or I guess a palace. So, that's actually interesting. We keep forgetting about these palaces that might have the glove in it as well. So maybe Pickles and Beer finishes 3 and then heads to Death Valley, and maybe that's where our glove is at.
Yeah, it's definitely at this point in terms of exploration time versus likelihood of an item. Valley of Death is certainly the biggest gamble if you're looking for the glove, but there's also a pretty big chance that it's just a regular old Valley of Death with a palace that isn't glove blocked, and even if you don't get the glove there and the item's useless, you're not really wasting any time.
There's our rock. All right. No.
Hunt for the glove continues.
Irritation levels rise.
Oh, Pickles and Beer maybe not quite familiar with this room. This is going to be a dead end.
I'm thinking even if Valley of Death Palace has our glove in it, Pickles and Beer still has to route everything, including vanilla shuffle DM that he's not stepped foot in yet, other than just take a peek. And so traiLZ, as fast as he moves through this game, is likely still going to have the advantage here. There needs to be kind of a traiLZ needs to have a big time loss here in this vanilla shuffle DM, I think, and Pickles and Beer needs to have a very short time finding the outlets in this same place for this to kind of, I think, give him keep him in this game, regardless of whatever happens in Death Valley or where the glove is at.
Yeah, and it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it
Death
is.
Mountain could do all sorts of things to a runner, but okay, traiLZ has found his way to this southern fork again, but he thinks he's explored everything there. He's going to backtrack.
Yeah, I was going to say there's even something to like a veteran player who routes a certain way versus someone who's not a veteran might just kind of clunkily make their way to the right answer in the randomizer. You know, it's like someone who's really good at a fighting game and then their friend comes along who's never played it, corners them with the stupid move, and then, you know, the veteran player gets beat up by the new guy just because it was, you know, just out of sheer luck or something like that. We're getting looped around over here on traiLZ's side. This is a hell of a vanilla shuffle DM.
As sad as that loop is for traiLZ, it's actually good news for him because he had two different sort of outstanding paths. He hadn't gone through that up pass through, and he hadn't gone through. And so he sort of could scratch two of his paths to take off of his list. He knows he's not going to have to backtrack up there.
Plus, Pickles and Beer seems to be a little turned around here in P3. He left the boss to do something else, but unfortunately, up in A's, I saw him go through the same loop, it looked like a few times. Up in A's has to go find Rebanek's room again to place the gem. So this is a good amount of time loss.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get enough experience in it. It took him a while, and by the time he had gotten it, I think he may have decided that it was faster to just up and well, I guess no, he still needs to find the medicine here. He's this is Palace 4. Is this Palace 3? But it's in the vanilla Palace 4 spot, right? This was the palace that contained the medicine, if I'm correct.
It's the Ocean Palace spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rebanek is nearby. Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah, okay, he's just gonna fill up. We're seeing quite a number of one-ups in the drop pool. And traiLZ has no interest in them. He's just exhaustively searching everything, and it pays off, and he has found the way to Maze Island.
Yeah, now it's time to find these items. Well, here's number one.
It looked... there's the glove!
53, just shy of 53 minutes into this one. Man, wow.
It looked like he was just going to go straight for the palace and do that before digging around looking for items, but sort of accidentally finding the glove on his way in.
Always a nice accidental find. So this is going to be P6. He knows he doesn't need anything out of here. I'm pretty sure the hint we got earlier was that Barba slithers with the heart. I don't know if he saw that. I think he might have. But at this point, he knows he's in go mode. He needs nothing else. So he's not going to be looking for the item if he finds the dragon first.
Yeah, it's just and good thing you picked up. Well, it looks like it wouldn't have mattered much anyway if he had gone here before getting the glove, because an immediate glove block tells you, nope, go back.
All right, there's our medicine for Pickles and Beer. He's out. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. Going to see what his next move is right now. He's going to head south again? Okay.
Yeah, I think he might be considering just clearing out the palaces here. Maybe, I mean, he still hasn't found his glove. Maybe he's thinking that Valley of Death is the right gamble.
Yeah, he also hasn't seen New Kasuto yet either, so he's might be headed that way as well.
Yep.
And he can't do Palace 2 that's in Three-Eyed Rock's position because there is the glove block in there. And so, you know, he's going to be down here, and he's going to need to leave here and go dig the nightmare that is Vanilla Shuffle DM.
Yeah, the only slightly good news is that if he does go to find New Kasuto, we don't know what the magic container requirement is, but we know that Spell is going to get him a magic container, and so there's a fairly good likelihood that even if he isn't able initially, that by the end he will be able to full clear it and won't have that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, I guess one thing that might help him is that if he goes into Death Valley and that palace is completable, then he won't have to double dip that. But I don't know what the play is. I don't know exactly what might be going through his mind right now.
traiLZ making Barba look like a joke. About 6 hits per cycle easily without jump.
Dragon down. All right, so we're going. He's got to step out of here. Oh, he's just gonna. Is he going to look for the other item? I don't think so. I think the trophy's the other item, and that is going to be actually our fairy spell, which doesn't matter because we have Fire Fairy. He's out, back to the west. Gonna, I don't know if you go east right away. I think you go east right away, finish it off, come back, sweep the west, and call it a deal. Call it a done deal because that's where GP is at as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, the only reason that you might not, with 7 containers, even with this extra one, he's not going to be able to pick it up. I was thinking, I don't know quite where this last palace on the west is, but the fact that the raft is down here might help some, since traiLZ does have that raft. He can potentially clear out this palace and then have a slightly quicker trip to the east by taking the raft over and then just up A for GP. I think it's pretty similar times either way.
Probably. All right. So what's interesting is that the NPC right next to the woman's house has the hint that the raft is on the east, and we know that it's right in that woman's basement.
Well, she had to get the information from somewhere. She had a reliable source. Sometimes wonder how these townsfolk have gotten information about ancient relics held in dungeons guarded by Ganon's Best.
Yeah.
traiLZ considering going down, but decides he likes this northern route better.
Yeah, we got some choices here in P4. So P4 can be, I don't know. I hate to try to gauge it because sometimes P4s are easy, sometimes they're a little trolly. We'll see how difficult this one is, but traiLZ is more than well equipped for whatever is going to whatever he's going to run into here from here to the end of the game.
Yeah, one thing with the community rooms that I do kind of miss from the old days a little bit is P4 used to always be very drop heavy. That was its sort of most notable characteristic, and had a lot of weird sort of which jump do you want to take? Where has this warp taken me kind of situations. that made it sort of difficult to route. Now it's just sort of long.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see a Death Valley check here on Pickles and Beer's side.
traiLZ unfortunately finds that his decision to take that northern route earlier just led him into a loop and into a dead end. Maybe this is not the same version of this room that he had found before. Nope, it's the same room. So that whole section traiLZ did just a big fat multi-pronged loop.
Interesting. Good old P4 in the randomizer.
Yeah, so picklesandbeer, as expected, is going to go through Valley of Death here. He's hoping that this has his glove. Unfortunately, it's just going to be Palace 1, I think, at this point, is all we have left.
Yeah, and with Palace 1 being the smallest palace, kind of hoping that there aren't going to be any glove blocks. He'll be able to get in and get out and not have to double dip Death Valley. But anything is possible, so it just takes one room to have a glove block for the entire palace to be glove blocked, so it's entirely possible that there is one, but hoping that there isn't.
picklesandbeer having a little difficulty with the fairy feet, tries the encounter skip and doesn't get a cooperative spawn, so I'm going to give fairy feet another try.
There it is.
Yeah. Thankfully, with Fire Fairy being available, get quite a few opportunities to give it a try.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, traiLZ. I thought going then doing 4 first traiLZ would have just left and used the raft tile. He is instead gonna up A and head to the bridge. Probably very close in timing.
Yeah, hard to say.
If not for the boots, the raft tile would have definitely been faster because it would have saved a cave pass through. But
definitely,
is just going to be able to walk around here.
I think, if anything, you might catch 2 encounters from the raft, whereas you might only catch 1 here from, I don't know, there's a little time saved maybe for one versus the other. I don't know. It could have been a hasty up an A from traiLZ side thinking, oh man, the raft was right there. I could have just taken that. Happens to me every other race where I do something like that.
Yeah, with as usual, we have half encounter rate turned on, which does do one slightly sad thing. There's a really cool encounter skip you can get to the first Wilson encounter from that P-Bag cave. But
if you're going to try to justify 100% encounter rate for one Wilson encounter skip on a biome you might never see throughout an entire tournament, I'm sorry, Elendar. I'm going to have to say no.
I'm an older school runner. I'm not used to these fancy new flags with reduced encounter rate and community rooms.
I'm sorry that you enjoy an encounter every 3 seconds in the overworld.
Just trying to cross the greatest of dig swamps, getting an encounter every 4 steps.
I hope you have vanilla shuffle DM for every one of your races. traiLZ doing a bad jump there into the lava, accidentally landing in the lava, doing a little up and A there to get his lives back.
Hey, if I've got vanilla shuffle DM for my races, then my opponents are going to have to suffer that too.
So here we are, fingers crossed, no glove blocks in P1 for picklesandbeer. So he's in and out, and then he'll be into the nightmarish. Another doubting that he would have made that, but he would have made that if he would just held left. Happens. Another thing that happens to us, you think you're going to get hit, you try to turn around, but you don't. You make it through, but you've already messed up your momentum, and you're going to land in the lava. So you better ferry your way out of there.
Yep. Fire Fairy, relatively cheap, but still hasn't gotten down to that, 8 or 9 MP cost that gets to once you get really low. Once it gets to that point, you just use it every room.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like I hate when I've got seeds like that, because I will simply play the seed like normal, because I don't like to practice with an easy Fire Fairy. It's nice when it comes up in a race setting like this, and we'll probably see traiLZ just completely trivialize every single GP room that he can with a Fire Fairy. So, that's going to be a huge benefit for him as well. He's going to simply take off and not be stopped at that point. But me personally, I will do my best to practice, even if I have something like that, a Fire Fairy, Fire Thunder. I'll practice and pretend I don't have that for as long as I can, just so, you got to put yourself through the ringer a few times to understand what the randomizer is for you. If everything's an easy Fire Fairy, easy Fire Thunder, you get this false sense of confidence, and then all of a sudden when you don't have that, it's I don't know how to function.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where it's definitely something you need to be able to take advantage of when it's there too, right? Like if Fairy Thunder's available and you're not, getting optimal use out of it, then it's going to be sad times. But also, yeah, definitely be a crutch if you get it too often.
Yeah, and in a race setting, you had better be using such a thing because your opponent is, and you're just simply, putting yourself behind for no reason other than honor, or I don't know. I refuse to use this easy to use spell combination.
Yep. Pickles is 2 shots to take down the horse.
All right, so no glove block in P1. Did we see the item in P1? If we did, I didn't see it.
I don't think we did, but I suspect if Pickles, he is gonna go back, and I feel like if you're gonna go all the way out to Death Mountain, the glove's still outstanding. If you haven't found the item, okay, BT Slacker saying that it was just a P bag, but if you haven't found the item and you leave here, that's a brave decision.
Yeah,
Charles,
go ahead.
I was Charles trying to get more glove blocks.
Yeah, we had a few. We definitely had a few in this seed here, and that glove being buried on a maze island behind a vanilla shuffle DM was not kind. And these are the things that I do concern myself with when it comes to new runners, whether they'll stay motivated to play games like this when they get dealt these really terrible seeds. I mean, the seed other than the vanilla shuffle DM has actually been pretty simple and straightforward, especially with that vanilla East. And but this vanilla shuffle DM that he is going to have to subject himself to is this is a thing that makes people be like, yeah, no, I won't play Z2R anymore. This is not for me.
Yeah, I do like the vanilla biomes being in the pool, and I even like just straightforward regular vanilla DM. I think is a perfectly reasonable thing, but vanilla shuffle DM is the only biome I think I can be like, yeah, I can do without.
It's definitely one of those. It's a very special biome. It should be its option all by itself. And I guess it is technically, but man, it's just interesting to come up here on opening day between Trails and Pickles and Beer. I wonder how many more times we'll see it. It'll be interesting if we see it a lot, but it'll be interesting from a statistical point of view, but maybe not from the racer's point of view.
Yeah, I mean, it can only show up. I think there's like 5 or 6 biomes in the pool for Death Mountain. And then some amount of the time you're going to get Vanilla Shuffle Death Mountain, and then it's just not required. And of course, if it's not required, our runners are going to avoid it like the plague. But I'm sure this is not going to be the first time we see the cruelty that is Vanilla Shuffle Death Mountain in the tournament.
Probably not.
And that was maybe the fastest fairy feat I've ever seen from Trails.
Yeah, I think he is done with this seed, just mentally done with that.
Not avoiding enemies, just cast fairy, run straight through.
Overall, though, I mean, Vanilla Shuffle DM, it was probably a good time to make it through there. I mean, again, you can get really lucky and find where you want to go very soon, but he found Hammer Cave first, and then he had to dig in there again. Then he found Speck Rock, which you kind of wanted to find because it's a really quickly, easy to check, just kind of difficult to get to. And then he found his way out of there. So I don't know, doing all of that, almost essentially a full clear of Vanilla Shuffle DM is not too bad for the time he spent in there.
Trails knocks himself into the lava with downstab.
Yeah, a little heavy on the down D-pad direction there.
It happens to everyone, even the veterans. And the second time around, he says, no, I'm just going to cast Fairy. Why fight enemies at this point? He's definitely not going to hit the 3190 to get another level, nor do I think he needs it. He's going to be coming into GP at 677 in all likelihood, and that's going to be more than enough.
Yeah, he might even burn this gem. Because attack 5 seems pretty healthy.
I think he's likely to take it if it's attack 6. If it's not, then you definitely just burn it. But I didn't catch what the experience thresholds were. I'm sure Trails knows.
Yeah, Trails also seeing the item there saying, nope.
Yep.
Don't need it.
It doesn't need anything, just needs to go. It's even got magical key to avoid getting stuck behind the key required room in GP.
Yeah, GP is going to be easy. Easy mode GP.
I think this is going to be, yep, this is the room for Trails. Attack 5, 2 hits. Wow, gets the double. Doesn't even do a second jump.
Hashtag buff force head.
Gets the double stab and then misses the key twice. Yeah, yep, there's the burn. You had it right.
Perfect. We're off to GP. GP's on the west, just a little southwest from starting point there. Yeah, this pass through is going to be quick and easy. Parappa pass through is going to push him through, and he'll be in GP shortly.
Yep. And GP going to be nice and standard, short GP, nothing fancy going on. Got community rooms, so can have up and down entrances. Dark Link, but Thunderbird will be required.
I think Pickles and Beer is looking around for the cave to Death Mountain that he remembers is around here somewhere.
And he's going to find it right now. I think he sort of did everything that he could to avoid this, and now he's like, I guess. And I don't blame him. I think
not at all.
This were my seat. I would 100% have done the same thing. Just clear everything you can before going into this mess. Maybe I wouldn't have done Valley of Death first, but it didn't cost any time. Had to be done anyway, and wasn't a block there. Oh yeah, does I don't think Trails has upstab. So if he gets unskippable upstab room.
Interesting. That's right. I don't think we saw a trip to Darunia at all from Trails.
Yeah, he didn't even check it. He knows what spell it is just on process of elimination, but yeah, with community rooms on, there is a version of the upstab block that cannot be skipped by the upstab skip. Well, I guess he can't do the upstab skip anyway. He skipped jump.
Oh wow. Wasn't jump was in New Kasudo, I thought.
Did he? Oh, that's right. He did pick it up. That's right. We were thinking he might not have because he was already in go mode by that point. But Trails, of course, smarter than me, picked up jump probably with the expectation that he was not going to be going back for upstab, and figured jump was, about 80% as good as upstab. I don't know exactly the odds for the various versions of upstab block rooms, but there are a couple that you cannot skip.
Yeah, there's just that one that's in the shape of a tunic.
Can you skip upstab in the T rooms if you have to go up in the T block rooms?
Yes, yeah, you only need jump for that.
Okay. I'm not.
Yeah, there's 2 T rooms. There's the one with a single block T, and then there's essentially a T junction that has double blocks on the left and the right.
Yeah,
all of that can be gotten around with jump.
Okay.
In fact, the one block T junction can be gotten around without jump. Really
smart trick from Trails there.
Oh,
immediately falling into the lava.
Which trick was that?
This room, this version of this room without the flying enemies, that middle section in the lower 2 blocks, there is a 50-50 red jar or bird knight. And frequently the people just sort of go through the normal way and the bird knight will troll them. Trails breaking through the top 2 blocks to ensure that he didn't get ambushed by the bird knight and then stabbed it on the opposite side. So if the bird knight did spawn, it wouldn't trip him up. And then, of course, just tripped over his own feet into the lava. But definitely a good thing to keep in mind for that room, because I've definitely seen runners ambushed by that before.
Yeah. Oh, here we have... Okay, never mind. Completely... nope, false alarm. Excitement, never mind. We're just talking about Pickles and Beer for a moment. He did just see Hammer Cave and get his magic container, so now that's going to give him 7. He might be thinking about Nukasudo's basement, but maybe not. He's going to keep going in Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think at this point, once you've committed to go into Death Mountain, if you're Pickles, you just have to say, I'm definitely going through and clearing this out. I'm gonna find Maze Island. I'm gonna get all of the items there, clear that palace.
Oh, let's see the trick. Trail's definitely able to handle this, although he's going to be eating some fire on the way out, it looks like. Possibly. Nope, the bird went down.
He jumps down. Good first part. The first part is definitely the hardest part. Now he's going to try and get a break on this block above him.
It's a little trolly from the direction he's attacking. He got it, but you can fall down, and then as you're swinging, you can break the block you were standing on, and then have to redo the trick again.
Yep, definitely a thing I did quite a bit when trying to learn that trick and before giving up on learning that trick. I know how to do it. It's one of those things where if I feel like I'm really far behind in a race and I get blocked by an upstop block, I might just try to remember how to do it on the fly. It's okay, though, because if I ever want to go back and learn it better, there's one of the fabulous members of our community has made a great tutorial on learning how to do that particular trick.
What a nice individual. I'll have to check it out. Trails getting caught by a horizontal dot there. Little miscalculation on the jump. Comes up quick. This is a tough room with flying projectiles in there. We did see it earlier, as you pointed out, with nothing in there. It's a whole lot easier at that point. Just avoid the red bird, 50-50 red jar, red bird there. And this time it had some projectiles. Gets a little trollier, and there's even worse combinations you can find in there, like with Bogos. But this looks like it's a loop for Trails.
Yeah, he's going to get a confirmation here. Yep, and there's Nabe. Not a surprise. He's already lost 2 lives, and there's plenty of exits here that he could check. God, surprise! Pickles did decide to go back to the east. He's man, not having that 7th container for Nukasudo is gotten stuck in his head, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go check it. And unfortunately for him, he's not gonna get good results.
Yeah, he talked to the woman right outside the house, and she said that the raft is on the east. And so out of process of elimination, again, you kind of just know that the raft is there. So, I mean, these are the things that slip your mind. It's very easy to just sit in the commentary booth, not have to play with the timer, and not have to play against, one of the best runners in Z2R, and talk about how to remember all these things. When you're actually in the driver's seat, you forget a lot of things slip your mind. There's just so much going through your mind that you're trying to route this. And especially, again, as Pickles and Beer, a newer player, at least we assume, to Z2R, that you just there's a lot to take in at once. It can be an overload of information. And so not realizing that the raft is going to be there based on that last hint. He's just going to go back and check, I guess.
We saw a neat occurrence from traiLZ's side. I think it doesn't happen too often, but he broke apart a Kingbot, and the sprite overload from the bots didn't remove the sort of fireball that was on the screen, but did remove the fireball spawner, and so they turned off. That's just how the sprites had loaded into the slots.
Pretty smooth block there. And King botted. Or Buzz Thundered, if you will.
Kingbot coming down from the top rafter. Rejected.
Yeah,
Trail's gonna ferry his way past it.
So a little bit of a troll of a GP here. We can say that this is, this allows Pickles and Beer to find the glove and catch up. But in reality, Pickles and Beer is going to probably route this the exact same way and go through the exact same loops and the exact same trolls that traiLZ is seeing. So it's probably not likely that this is going to be much of a gap closer for Pickles.
Yeah, there is a possibility that he'll assume he's behind going up against traiLZ and be like, all right, I'm going to take these lefts. But even if you decided that you were just going to take all of the lefts, this route is not all left. It's lefts and downs and turnarounds, and it has not been a simple one. And every path traiLZ has selected has immediately turned out wrong.
Yeah, that feels bad as well. When you're kind of mentally done with the seed and you're like, all right, let's get in this GP, let's get out of this. We're in a tournament race, and all of a sudden you're picking every wrong direction. It's like, oh my God. And he played some seeds earlier today, and so he's done a good bit of Z2R today.
Yep, just a normal day for traiLZ, playing 3 or 4 seeds.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, Z2R is great.
I try to get, an apple a day or a Z2R seed a day, that's what I try to get in at a minimum.
So traiLZ has made his way back to this room where he's going to go over the top here. Going to look. This time it's going to be the jar. Get a couple more casts of fairy.
Yeah, by the way this is looking, if he finds Thunderbird soon, Darkling is probably not going to be too far behind Thunderbird, so...
Yeah, with shortened GP, there's not going to be too many more rooms.
I am just waiting for him to come up into one of those out of one of those elevators and have it be the hard up stab block. That's going to be super troll.
100% possible. This stretch, I think we've seen all of so far. This was that loop that traiLZ had found.
Yeah, there must be some other branch in this direction that I just don't remember seeing. I haven't been watching traiLZ like a hawk in here. I was trying to watch Pickles and Beer, what he's doing as well.
Yeah, looks like he was exploring around, not really sure, but yeah, he's back in Death Mountain, and that's his only play at this point.
He's probably just looking at a map thinking, gosh, do I really have to go into this vanilla shuffle DM? Because, Jesus.
I just don't want to.
He's probably just walking around. He's like, why is traiLZ not done yet? What is happening? I just want to DNF.
Put me out of my misery.
All right, yeah, I was going to say, I think we're in new territory here for traiLZ. So there's our Thunderbird.
He had gone right there before, but hadn't taken this down. And of course, it was exactly where he needs to be. So he's now on the only path. Getting 4 hits on the first one. That looked like a 2. A little hard to tell.
Another 4 banger on the left side. Possibly 3 on the right. It's a little hard to tell from time to time, but that's an easy bird.
Yeah, textbook. I mean, textbook if you're able to do 4 hit cycles. I still just do my real basic 3 and 2 pattern. Just be safe, kill the boss.
Here we go. Elevator into Darkling, probably.
Yep.
Or maybe 8 more rooms, maybe. I don't know.
8 more rooms. One of them is a drop that leads you back to that room.
Oh, yeah.
It's the thing you absolutely don't want to see right when you beat Thunderbird is a drop exit. Nice and laggy here for traiLZ.
Yeah, and he's got a blue bird behind him, so he needs to move quickly.
He's just hitting shield and bullying his way through these mobs. 7 containers in life 7. He's just going to take the hits and push. But the NES not cooperating. Pickles and Beer taking a slightly different route here on Maze Island. He is going to check for the items first. So he's going to lose a little bit of time over traiLZ.
Wow, that was a fast find on Maze Island.
Yeah, compared to traiLZ, definitely saved some time. Didn't end up finding the route to Spectacle Rock, but it's not going to matter because here's Dark Lake. thought there's at least some possibility we'd see traiLZ fight Dark Lake like a man, but nope. Do smart strats hanging out in the corner.
Smart strats versus fighting like a man. Exactly. Those are the two options. Barbarian mode or smart strats.
Yep. And traiLZ is finished here with an official race time 1:23:54.
Very close to a 1:23:45, although just flip those last two digits.
Yep.
But GG to traiLZ. First race of the tournament. traiLZ does put himself at 1-0, and picklesandbeer is going to fall to 0-1, and that is going to affect their matchups in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, we've got 5 rounds of Swiss. So each round, players are going to play players at similar records. And so I'm sure we'll see another good match on traiLZ's side next week as we see if he'll be in for an interview in just a bit.
And it seems he is. GG traiLZ. We are, if you're speaking, we're not hearing you. Perhaps a push to talk.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
GG.
Hey, thank you. That seed was pretty bad, actually.
We when we saw the Vanilla Shuffle Death Mountain, we saw it fairly early on picklesandbeer's side. He had found it and noped out of there. And we were sort of just counting down the number of remaining options until that was just going to have to be it.
Yeah, I knew immediately that it was it once I saw the Vanilla East. There was a raft tile on the west.
Yeah, we were wondering if we'd see the raft tile on the west after seeing it on the east there. And after we did, we're like, well, I guess we have to go through Vanilla Shuffle DM to get to Maze Island. And we also find this glove, which seemed to be quite buried on Maze Island as well, which was a lot of fun from the audience perspective, but I'm sure a little exhausting from the racer side of things, given what we've had to do lately in the Vanilla Shuffled biomes and all the stuff lately.
Yeah, I like it when it's shuffled in, when it's like it could randomly be drawn, but I feel like it's been drawn a lot recently. Matter of fact, I think the seeds of the week were actually set to be Vanilla biome. At least one of them was. But yeah, I mean, I think that they're very interesting, but they can be very frustrating during like a race. You know, because it's like, did my opponent find the required item? Did he take the right path in Death Mountain? I felt really good after I found the boots in Peabag Cave early on.
Yeah, thankfully the route in Death Mountain, there wasn't really a fast way to get it.
Yeah, I explored every single... I found both dead ends. I think... I know I at least found one of them.
Yeah, I wasn't tracking exactly, but I think you had gone through... I know you had gone through every fork, and I think you had gotten all of the connectors on the forks. But you still... The minimum route to get to Maze Island was, I think, at least 4 or 5 caves.
Oh yeah, at least. And 4 or 5 caves with different directions you could go too.
Yeah. So not very likely to find it the first time.
But other than that, it seemed pretty straightforward. No real, I mean, other than the glove missing and seeing the numerous glove locks and palaces, I mean, nothing too tricky. The early Fire Fairy was incredibly nice, and getting the hint for the trophy being or the medicine. It was the medicine that was reflect today. The medicine was reflect. That's right. It was in P3, and you both had that hint. P3 being right there after you had the boots, walking over there, getting the medicine. You were set right off the bat with that for the most part, as picklesandbeer was more or less clearing out the west before he headed to the east. And we were just wondering if it was going to come down to this Vanilla Shuffle DM and how that was going to play out. And Pickles and Beer did a few extra trips back and forth. I'm probably a little inexperienced on his side with Z2R, which is entirely understandable. But yeah, I mean, you cruised through this as best as you could. There was one time when you were in New Kasuto, I think you up and ate out of there. Still didn't have the glove. We were wondering if the palace in Death Valley was on your mind at that point, if you should maybe go over there or not. Were you thinking about that?
I hadn't seen GP yet, and every time I go, whenever I make that gamble in a vanilla Valley of Death, it's always GP, and I always get burned. So, and this time it happened to be P1, so I felt pretty bad. I had to come back anyway to go to P2, so I really didn't lose that much time, if any. But yeah, I did feel bad after seeing that.
Yeah, we were, because Pickles and Beer had showed us that GP was on the west. Again, he was more or less just full clearing the west while you were early easting it up, and yeah, we didn't know if you had seen GP. We didn't think you had, and I was wondering if maybe you thought it was GP. You're just going to take the gamble that it might be GP, or the glove just won't be in there. There's more places to check other than Death Valley. So it all played out fine in the end.
Yeah, I was still missing an item cave and a palace on the west, so I figured that like maybe the palace would have been one, and the glove could easily be there. I don't know. My mind's going a million miles a second. I'm trying to like crunch down the last few locations and where the glove could or possibly be. When I saw it when I saw the one-way spec rock, I was like, man, I bet you that's the glove.
Yeah, that was a little point of conversation there as well on commentaries. Like, do you try to find spec rock? It's like maybe you do, maybe you don't. You got Maze Island at the other end of this. It's like spec rock is such a quick and easy check, but I don't know. I mean, you did find it all. And again, Pickles and Beer did not find Spec Rock. He just cruised over to Maze Island, but still, you were far enough ahead at that point. And the Fire Fairy really helped trivialize a lot of the palace rooms after you got it, and after it was super cheap. As you know, we tend to use it to just race through rooms at that point.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to go fast. And I did 100% every single room in Great Palace. I did 100% every single cave in Death Mountain. Like, this seed really helped me up. I should have been done 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, that was a bit of a trolley GP there in terms of routing. Not too bad in terms of enemies, but the routing was sure. Saw that one glove locked elevator a few times.
Yeah, that was the way. Thunderbird and Dark Link were only like 2 and 5 rooms after that, you know? I had to take the elevator up into the fun room, and then that took me right to the Thunderbird, and I skipped that, and I completely forgot where that was. And when I found that, I think it was a dead end, I was like, oh man, it's that one room. That's all the way. I thought it was past the nasty fun room, the one I took the death in. Oh no, wait a minute, I didn't take a death in that. I took the death to the blank one that had the 50-50 in it.
Yeah.
I started talking to chat for a second, and I took my eye off the screen. They were like asking me questions about DJing and stuff. Took a quick glance and then a sword beam to the keister and fell straight into the soup.
Yeah, that's right. That was the Winter Solstice room with the high platforms and the breakable blocks. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
But other than that, moving on to week 2, 1-0, and you'll be up against any other 1-0 opponent. This first week is always a Wild West with matchups. It's just simply luck of the draw when it comes to week 1. So you got matched up with Pickles and Beer. And then after here, the matches become a little bit more refined in terms of who's got each record. You'll be up against other 1-0s, and he'll go up against other 0-1s moving forward, and that's the way it builds upon in Swiss here.
Yeah, it would be pretty interesting to see what the 1-0 pool looks like. I know some people probably got some really unlucky draws. I know Air 72 hasn't been around in a while, but he's one of the best vanilla players, man. He's one of the OG, and he's really good when it comes to combat. He's no stranger to Randomizer, but he's not too familiar with the new one, but he's definitely a threat.
Yeah, Pickles and Beer didn't do too well. I mean, didn't do too bad as well here as a newer runner. We didn't really know his experience. The name does not ring a bell in terms of Z2R community, but he is, he was competent enough to handle his own for a little while, and then once things got a little convoluted on the east and all the glove blocks, you just simply see take off from there. So, but he was doing pretty good. So it's nice to see new runners do well in Z2R, knowing that it can be quite punishing, especially when you see these like vanilla shuffled DMs.
Oh, absolutely. And he was like, even in chat before, he was like, man, I really hope this isn't a vanilla shaped overworld.
That's when you have to break out the map. You have to break out the real vanilla map so you know kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you do like a couple all keys runs or like you've played vanilla before, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I've definitely been tripped up by it before, especially the grass tile lands on grass and it's just completely invisible. You can just glaze right over it and not even realize it.
Absolutely. But other than that, any final thoughts on the seed? Anything that you remember that stuck out early on or anything like that?
Oh, nothing. Just that really nasty really nasty vanilla shuffled Death Mountain. But other than that, I mean, I tend to believe that I probably got really lucky in this seed. My routing, I guess, in Death Mountain and stuff was really unfortunate. But in terms of doing a blind pull of the sunken P bag and then doing P3 right after and then getting the medicine, I feel like that was a very lucky start. But other than that, I feel like I got pretty unlucky in my routing. And this could have gone either way. I feel like that Pickles and Beer could have easily got me. If his padding in Death Mountain or Great Palace was smoother than mine, because I had probably some of the most unfortunate routing possible. So that just goes to show you, like, anybody can, and, nobody is unbeatable in this game, So I look forward to getting at some new opponents, and I hope I get luckier next time than I did this time.
All right. Elendar, any final thoughts?
No, but GG once again. Look forward to hopefully seeing you in the 1-0 bracket. Okay, do my best.
Who are you guys facing? Now that we got this on the topic, who are you facing, Rye? Who are you facing, Elendar?
I've got Shaddy tonight at 10.
Oh, that should be a good race.
Yeah, should be a good one.
How about you, Mirai?
I got Patrick. Big Picket Patrick.
Oof.
We have to schedule. He messaged me and I forgot to get back to him. So it was late last night that I forgot today. But we'll get back to it. We'll figure that out. I don't know. Later in the week sometime, when we're not crowding anyone else's space with the other runs that have all been scheduled.
Yeah, he's a good race, man. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I think I got like the hardest matchup, like veteran wise. I think skill wise, I think I got I'll probably own one week 2, but that's okay. I only got to win 3. It's fine.
Right. Well, thank you guys for doing everything, and I'll see you guys in the next race likely.
All right, take it easy, Trails.
All right, you later.
All right, so seems Shaddy's going to finish this one out. I wasn't paying attention. Did see him finish Helmet Head there. Looks like he's only got P4 left to do, and I assume he's in P4 here. Yep, this is our glove block just after the item room as we had seen before. So he's, nice 4-tile jump with confidence. Who needs Fire Fairy to get over that gap? Not Pickles and Beer.
It's not an easy jump.
He might be completely sober. It might be Pickles and no beer currently.
And good thing he took it too, because no, never mind. I remember this. This is the place where this right just leads to the same loop as down would lead.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a trolley P4. Trail showed us this, and it was
yeah, this is gonna just loop all the way back to the. I think he does need to be on the lower section though, so
I think so as well. Yeah,
yeah, there's a junction here, and I think he needs to go down. If I recall correctly. It's difficult even when you're playing the races to remember all the finer details of the layout to the palace. But
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think it's down and left. And that's definitely one of the biggest dangers you can get as well. If you go into a palace early and find out it's glove blocked or something, and you come back like an hour later, trying to remember the layout is just like, forget it.
Yeah, nope, nothing. Yeah, totally. You might as well just start routing it fresh again. Yeah, this is one of those decorative elevator rooms. Just simply a pass through. Both sides are going to be a dead end here. I do wish, as Pickles showed us on the right hand side of that elevator, there is. Oh, well, here's Karak. There are 2 blocks that are stacked, and I there's never anything in those blocks, but I feel that's kind of a waste. There should have been a jar or something at the end of that dead end for that elevator room there. Just
I dislike areas that have dead ends with like no reason for the dead end.
Exactly. Yeah, don't just troll me. At least give me a reason to know that there's something down there, and if I want it, then I can make the decision to go there myself. If I, any other standard dead end room for the most part, it's gonna have a small item in it, potential for a jar out of a statue as well. And so, you need that key. You want a little bit more experience, or you are looking for that red jar. It might be down there, and it's worth it. It's worth a check.
And that's in line with how vanilla is structured as well.
Exactly.
Right? Whenever you find a dead end, there's always something there, even if it's just a statue with a 50-50.
But that's going to be 6 gems for Pickles, and he's going to be off to GP here, just north into the swamp.
Yep, and this that's why we're talking about before when traiLZ, little interested that traiLZ did 4 first and then up 8, because doing 4 last into GP here is such a natural bit of routing. Interesting. He's considering whether he wants to take life 8 or attack 7.
He wants the attack.
I don't know how many lives he has left, whether it's worth it for him to just
he has 1
plow in there. Okay, so he's going to try and play it safe here, pick up some XP, but I don't know where there's a good source of XP aside from sort of just killing stuff and hoping for a P-bag drop. Sort of checking the different terrain types, seeing what encounters are available.
Yeah, I don't remember.
This is a good one.
I don't remember what was in that first room in GP. It was a curtain room, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't remember how busy it was, but depending on how dangerous or busy it is, it might not be worth trying to get the experience there. But then again, he has 2 lives now. He might just be able to just walk in there and do his thing.
Yeah. I mean, if he certainly at least finds another one up. Yeah, he's decided that the extra life is enough to just walk in and get going.
Yeah, he needs 21 experience, so he'll find that shortly.
For sure, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of enemy in here quickly. Oh, yes. Our favorite enemies.
Oh, it would have probably been the level right there. He's 1 experience shy. The Mew gives him a blue jar instead.
How rude.
Just going to be dots in here. It's hard to believe he's going to game over before getting 1 more experience point. Oh, there's Boggle Boggles as well. Hello.
20 points. Even on a double down, they'd still be enough here. Oh, make it! Ah.
Wow. Life 7.
Very strong. This is going to be difficult, though. Yeah. Yeah, the fireballs that fly from the flying enemy spawners in GP are really strange. The horizontally flying ones do very, very little damage, as we saw there. Pickles taking a couple hits and still making it through and almost no life. The vertical ones, on the other hand, will absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, the damage difference between those 2 is pretty wild. It's unfortunate the horizontal ones don't do a truckload of damage. They'd be so much more dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'd kind of rather have the horizontal ones do more damage and the vertical ones do less, because the horizontal ones are there's usually something you could have done to avoid them or block them. Or
That's very true.
stop them. Whereas the vertical ones, sometimes they just, especially on a low floored room like this, and there's really nothing you can do about it. I don't remember how many more rooms the optimal path is, but again, like you were saying earlier, I think it's pretty likely that Pickles ends up taking a pretty similar route to what traiLZ did, especially now that he knows the race is over and there's no pressure to maybe take a gamble on a left.
Yeah, the standard. There's really, unless you're the gambler, the standard routing is more often than not going to get you where you want to go, and then only in these circumstances, like this palace in particular, will it not get you to where you want to go. But I mean, most people are going to take yeah, I'm sitting there watching that as well.
Life 7, so good.
And he didn't grab life from Darunia, did he? He did get up stab, I believe.
I don't think he has. I mean, if he had the life spell, I'm sure he'd be casting it right now. No, he does not have it. Oh, but the fairy!
Very convenient.
Even better. I don't think this is the way. I think it might be that he needed to take a left there, but not going to be sad about picking up a fairy on effectively 0 health.
Well, ultimately, we're looking for. I think it was the fun room, and then there was a Jackamus room.
Yeah, this is the right way, because I remember traiLZ had re-path through here. Let's see if Pickles knows about. Okay,
oof, lucky.
Takes the low route, but gets lucky and gets the magic container. I think it's definitely right to check it, but I like the way traiLZ does it, where you go over it and then pick it up on the backside, and if the enemy does spawn, you can just move onward. Although I guess from Pickles' perspective, maybe it's the opposite, right? Maybe if the jar doesn't spawn there, you're just going to go left and respawn the room and try to farm out that jar. Because he was pretty low.
Yeah, and to respawn the jar, you don't have to, as long as the enemy falls into the lava and you kind of walk far enough away, you don't actually have to leave the entire screen. You can come back and respawn that jar. And just keep trying without having to without having to leave the room and re-break the blocks to get back over there every single time.
That's a good trick. Didn't know that one either.
Yeah, honestly, I learned that earlier in the year watching traiLZ play. I watched him do that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that either. So
yeah, traiLZ, of course, the holder of all knowledge when it comes to Zelda 2.
I think that's the way. That's the fun room up there.
Yeah, I think that was the way. I think this. I don't remember. I can't remember if this loops or dead ends. Yeah, because this is where traiLZ did the upstab skip.
That's gonna loop. I think he doesn't have upstab. He might not have upstab, which is gonna push him toward the right way. But he only has 1 life left.
Yeah, just gotta be careful. Okay, good down stab to get past that bird knight.
The thing is, I don't know how much magic he's had when he's taken these deaths, and it always kind of sucks to die with like a full magic bar, thinking he could have been shielding in a lot of these rooms and things of that nature. Now he has to play really conservatively because he's going to need at least 51 magic left over to cast Thunder 1 time. Already losing a little bit there. This is our Jackamus room. Okay.
Yeah, and I think he needed to go down here.
This is
exit. I think he is going to check it because it's just a natural check. And here's Thunderbird.
Easy GP. Look at this. Pickles and beer.
Only 51 for Thunder at Magic 7.
Yeah, tearing it up. He's got this. He took his attack 7. That's going to be like 8 hits for Thunderbird. Maybe. I don't know. He's shielding as well. This is perfect. I don't know his whoa. Okay. Pickles and beer knows little Thunderbird strats here. This is good to go, man. This I'm a little afraid to go against Pickles and Jesus.
Yeah, get those double hits with the duck.
I think he's been playing it up a little bit. He's been playing little oh no.
Oh. See, right, we have a saying around here when the commentary talks about how good someone's doing. Right, just
Yeah,
silent now.
No. I think Pickles and Beer has been sneakily playing the seed here, kind of meandering, not wanting to show his full hand, and then all of a sudden he shows up to the Thunderbird fight. He starts breaking out the crouching stabs on the hitbox for Thunderbird, 2 to 3 hits at a time there. That was pretty fancy. I think maybe Pickles and Beer has got ace up his sleeve, and we'll see more from him in future races. I think Devious also from the Final Fantasy Randomizer side of things. If Pickles and Beer is from there, maybe they've been training together. We'll see Devious show up in this tournament and tear it up as well.
Yeah, plenty of new players I'm excited to see. This first round especially is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, especially with these kind of wild matchups. It's kind of like anything goes. I probably have the most difficult matchup here against Big Picket in round 1, but after this round, it's going to get very interesting to see how everyone's records play out and who gets matched up with who. And I don't know. It's a little nerve wracking. I haven't even done a race yet, and I don't even have a scheduled race yet, but it's still nerve wracking. So.
Yeah, well, former, I was going to say current Max Rando champion Patrick is participating in this race along with several of our regulars and some new runners. It's a good mix.
Yeah, Pickles doing a good better than a good job here, able to route this GP nicely and not getting too caught up. Again, I think the lack of upstab is what just simply pushed him up into the right direction there, and that's something that happens to us all the time. Even if there had been a hard upstab block or something like that, and choosing not to
get the fairy.
Oh, he's going to ferry through.
This is smart. Yeah, breaking the block so he doesn't have to worry about that jump.
Is ferry cheaper than jump? I don't know the cost of the two.
I don't know if it is at this point. I think it might be for sure, but it's also it could be easier just to use. Okay, just free jar again.
Going straight in and getting the jar, man. That might be false confidence moving forward. He sees this room in future seeds. He'll be like, "Oh, it's going to be a jar," and boom, it's a bird every time. He'd be like, "What happened?"
But yeah, making that jump can be even with jump spell on, getting into that 2 black hole can be a little bit precise. And so just even if fairy and jump are comparable costs, that strategy that Pickles used is just a little bit cleaner if you're not that comfortable making the jump.
Yeah, without a doubt. And as Fire Fairy is just so cheap, we were talking to traiLZ about that. You just cast it and go. Like in these rooms right here,
yeah,
it might even be worth just
here because it's 57. Was it for Thunder?
51,
and he's got 7 containers, and we know it's only a couple of rooms away. He's going to be very, very well equipped. He's going to have full magic, 3 lives, plenty of opportunities to take down a Thunderbird.
Attack 7 as well.
Yeah.
Just looked like in the previous attempt, just caught a bad fireball, which, just to continue to reuse the phase happens to all of us. It's just, you miscalculate where the fire is going, you get clipped, and then all of a sudden Thunderbird closes in on you, and you've got a rain of fire above you, and you really can't dodge all that easily, and you get hit again, and that would have been that. Ooh, almost looked like he was going to take a hit in the corner there, standing there. That's like 98% safe. Every once in a while, you get trolled by Thunderbird hitting you in the corner, but it takes 2 early bops, and that might be painful.
Yeah, I think if you're all the way in the corner at the start, then even the worst you can get is that awkward looking one that he saw there. I don't think it's possible, as long as you're all the way into the side, to get hit from the beginning. But as soon as he starts moving, he can be a pixel or 2 off from where he started the cycle, and just throw absolute curveballs into that corner.
All right, so it is what, like 4 rooms from here? This is an easy room. I think this is okay. Just an elevator into what I think is a waffle room, or that's an emoji, I think.
I don't think that one is. Oh, that's right. This is the room that traiLZ just sort of tanked his way through, and probably gonna take Pickles an extra attempt with no life and no magic with how mean this room is, but we'll see. Well, immediately cursed him.
Yeah, if it was just that blue bird, he would have had a chance. But there's that second waffle that's got a firebird and stuff in there, and it's a little messy in here.
Yeah. But now coming back in with full magic, full life can be no problem.
Yeah, these emoji rooms, they tend to be messy. When they're messy, they're messy.
Even taking out that first blue bird knight, the lag here is extremely and gets a little off pattern with the red bird knight. Not going to be able to stab him in the feet.
I was
thunder spell.
Just about to say thunder this and get rid of that thing.
At the very least, cut down on the lag. And I believe this is our last room before little down elevator to Darklink. Is it down elevator or straight walking? Oh, yes, right. This room has the down elevator. Or not.
No,
I think
sorry.
We've all miscounted the number of rooms.
What we were doing when traiLZ was in here. Oh, right, no elevator.
For some reason, I thought it was an elevator.
I'm going to blame you. I was just going off of your information there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's
okay.
100%. See, Pickles just using regular crouch in the corner, stab.
Very safe overall. You just have to watch out if Darklink jumps on you. You definitely have to jump as well. And you can still get clipped by him, but this time, no jumping, no acrobats, none of that nonsense. That's going to be a GG for not for Shaddy. Sorry, Elendar. That's going to be GG for Pickles and Beer. I'm already calling the race at 10 o'clock tonight.
GG for Shaddy. Just a quick 5 or 6 hours from now, we'll call it.
And we'll see if we can get Pickles in here to talk, to see really what his skill level is and what his experience is, because now I'm curious. Not too bad of a GP. As traiLZ has said, he picked the wrong directions and got knowing the upstab block is when the upstab block skip was kind of a curse in this sense that he went through the upstab block instead of going through that fun room, and that sent him down into a loop. And then he checked different directions, which were dead ends, and then he had to come back through here. That was as he said, 100% clear of GP for him. So it was really nice that. I guess we'll talk to Pickles when he gets in here, but again, not having upstab, pushing him in the right direction. Yeah, we're just waiting to see if Pickles is going to want to talk to us. He might be completely salty from the vanilla shuffle DM. I wouldn't blame him if that were the case. Maybe he's a little exhausted. Maybe he needs to refill on the Pickles and Beer. I'm not sure, but we'll see if we can get him in here. But that is going to be the first race of the Z2R 2022 Standard Tournament here. Pretty, not too much of a nightmare. Could have potentially been a lot worse. A little long. Because of both the straight east continent as well as a vanilla shuffled Death Mountain, which was required 100% to go through there. And so that did make this one a little bit longer, but it was handled by both of our runners pretty well. Sub 2 hour for that from Pickles and Beer. Probably not a bad showing for him. Again, not knowing his experience level, but handled it. He handled it. A little confusion in his side, but he got through it without much issue. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get an interview from Pickles. Again, probably a little exhausted. from that, and I don't blame him. But Ellen, Dar, any final thoughts before Psychonaut takes us away?
Nope. GG's to both of our runners. Thanks to our tracker, BT Slacker. Thanks for everybody helping out on the commentary team. Thanks for our fabulous restreamer whose name I've forgotten, who will take it away for you in just a second. Apologies.
Oh dear. No worries. I mean, to be honest, I don't blame you for getting after whatever that was. Yeah, so thank you for tagging along to our vanilla DM extravaganza. Hopefully we'll get more of that later on in the tournament. GG's to both our runners, to Trails and to Pickles and Beer. Very fun match to watch. Make sure you go and follow both of them. Thank you to both Mariah and Emler for the excellent commentary. Best of luck to both you in your matches. Hope you both do well. And thanks, of course, to VT Slacker for tracking. Make sure you go and follow all of them. All the links are in the chat right there. We got quite a lot of tournament action happening here on Zelda Speedruns over the next little while. As you may have heard mentioned earlier, the other match today for the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament is Shatty versus Eleanor. That's taking place at about 10 o'clock Eastern over on Zelda Speedruns 2. And we got more action lined up tomorrow at about 2 o'clock Eastern. We have the Swiss Round 1 match between Animus United and Devious RNG. And at 7 o'clock Eastern, we have the Swiss Round 1 matchup between the Alan Heffley and Nimamva. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Details and all that will all be posted on the schedule in due course. Elsewhere across the Zelda Speedruns network, we got the Link to the Past Randomizer Cross Keys tournament, including a match happening right now over on Zelda Speedruns 2. We have the Swiss Round 2 match between Z2R 89 and Uber. So that's where we're all going to go. Be sure to get over there and show your support for all of them. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Psychonaut, and have a fantastic rest of your time zone. Bye-bye now.